In regional news tonight, Minister of Health Dr. Christopher Tufton has indicated that between 2016 and 2018, Jamaica recorded over 9,000 Zika cases. Further, Tufton disclosed that there was also 600 Zika in pregnancy cases and over 100 congenital Zika syndrome cases. Tufton said that cross-border collaboration will help Jamaica to better fight the disease. The Jamaica Gleaner reported Tufton as stating that the more open we are as a society, the more persons travel, the more persons trade, is the more we are all susceptible and the more it justifies the need for working together as partners in our collective interests. The consultation was funded through the United States Agency for International Development Applying Science to Strengthen and Improve Systems project. It was geared towards better sensitizing medical practitioners and other stakeholders in Jamaica about mosquitoes and the Zika virus while creating partnerships that will assist with the fight against the communicable disease. The objectives of the meeting included informing Jamaica's medical community about evolving evidence on the long-term impact of the Zika virus, updating the Ministry of Health's clinical management protocols, job aids and guidelines to strengthen health services in the context of Zika in Jamaica, and focusing on gender inequalities that affect health outcomes and approaches to gender integration. We turn to Trinidad now. Police are on the hunt for a man who posed as a customer and ordered a meal, then robbed an Aruca restaurant yesterday afternoon. The news there reported that at around 2:40 p.m., the man walked into the restaurant on Victoria Street, Aruca, and ordered bhaji rice and stew chicken. When it was time to pay, the man lifted his shirt to show the waitress a gun and told her to give him everything. He stole about $700 and a J5 cell phone before running away. Still in Trinidad, a teenage mother and her companion, who appeared before the Superior Court after a gun was allegedly found next to a baby in a crib, have been denied bail. Calissa Guevara, 18, and her common-law husband, Tion Thomas, 20, both face Superior Magistrate Margaret Alert, jointly charged with possession of a gun and one round of ammunition. The items were allegedly found at a house at Penal on Saturday. Guevara faced 6 other charges from an alleged robbery of a taxi driver on March 3rd. Allegations of robbery with aggravation, possession of firearm and ammunition, possession of these items to endanger life, and shooting with intent were read to her. Charges were laid by Constable Ravi Ramdot of the Penal Criminal Investigations Department. The attorney for both said Guevara had no criminal record and that she was a breastfeeding mother, while Thomas had previous larceny matters and was placed on bond. Alert remanded both into custody until April 18th. And finally, in tonight's regional news, LIAT's owners, 4 Caribbean nations, including Barbados, are being urged to take pay cuts for pilots off the table as they mull options for a new flight path for the cash-strapped carrier. Ahead of planned talks in Barbados between LIAT shareholders, governments, management and unions representing the airline's workers, pilots have served notice that the salary cut is not an option. President of the Leeward Islands Airline Pilots Association, Carl Burke, said his members are very reluctant to accept the call for a salary cut at this time. Barbados today reported that the pilots feared being in a position where next year management would come asking for an additional 5%, stating that workers just did not have the confidence in the team. At another round of talks in Barbados on Saturday, Vincentian Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, the chairman of the shareholder government, was tight-lipped on proposals emerging from the meeting, but said more would be revealed after further discussions. Earlier this month, Dr. Gonsalves said progress had been made regarding the future direction of the regional airline following a more than 4-hour meeting in Barbados. The shareholders have been asked to raise $10.8 million in emergency funding needed to keep the airline aloft. At the same time, 11 destinations have been given until March 15 to respond to the airline's minimal revenue guarantee proposals. Under this MRG model, unprofitable flights may be cut if a destination's government is not prepared to fund them with a guarantee, Gonsalves said, adding that theoretically several countries reported having no quarrel with the MRG. Gonsalves had suggested that the major shareholders, Barbados, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, were close to securing buy-in from the unions into the plan, even though it would call for some sacrifice on their part. But Dr. Gonsalves said the extent to which workers would be expected to sacrifice is still to be determined. The Caribbean Media Corporation reported that workers in all of LIAT's 15 stations have also rejected a salary cut. And that's it for tonight's regional news. Back to you, Handel.